Caribbean Insight, the oldest West Indian TV program alive on the planet today. 30 years and still #1 in the USA for value, consciousness, history and trending events. CITV. Now some of them just talk the thing, but CITV is working it with Lady V.
I'm Lady V on CITV, bringing you cultural programming highlighting the history and journey of a people, awakening their social consciousness as we celebrate 30 years of programming. COVID-19 coronavirus is attacking the world, and under fear and caution, the Caribbean is adjusting to the new normal in its defense against this virus. On this episode, the Prime Ministers of Trinidad and Jamaica presents their roadmap to recovery.
Praises have come from the Oxford University, the World Bank, the European Union delegation, The Economist magazine, and the vast majority of our local business community. They have all publicly endorsed the government of Trinidad and Tobago's management of the challenges the COVID-19 global pandemic has created. In an international overview, Oxford, the world's second oldest university dating back to the year 1096, tracked the management performance of governments around the world. First, it rated Trinidad and Tobago second to Vietnam as the most prepared country in the world. Days later, Oxford reviewed that assessment and has placed this country first. Yes, first. Alongside Hong Kong, Iceland, and Croatia, Trinidad and Tobago has met 4 of the 6 World Health Organization's recommendations for the crisis. At the time of writing, it said only a handful of countries were meeting the WHO criteria, and that Trinidad and Tobago stands ahead of countries in the developed world, including the United States, Canada, and Europe.
We are now voted the best for this COVID preparedness. Throughout the world, Chinese could boast. For preparedness, we running first. It's one countries like the United States, UK and China soaring that race. So give a thumbs up and say hooray and thank our government of today. Cause we're ranking first in the world, now listen to this. First in COVID preparedness. We're ranking first in the world, just obey and have faith and keep with that rate at 8. We're ranking first in the world, Oxford University and the European nation. We're ranking first in the World Economist magazine, show our praises and nation. So this blessed Twin Island is a model nation. This country of my birth, Trinidad and Tobago, the most prepared COVID country on earth. This country of my birth, Trinidad and Tobago, the most prepared COVID country on earth.
Looking at our position on this journey of self-protection to see which turn we need to take. For the next 6 weeks, we've broken it up into phases. Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3 from tomorrow down to June 20th. What horizon we're looking at and what the decision-making profile and what kinds of decision we have made and are going likely to be making in that period, given the fact that we've got up to Phase 1, a good result to allow us to do the Phase 1 things, and if our profile continues to be like that, what we can do in Phase 2 and Phase 3. This is a very dangerous phase that we are embarking upon. And I could tell you, it is easier for me as Prime Minister to have made the decisions to shut down certain things, to try and protect us from an outcome we didn't know we could get. It's easier for me to have done that than to do what we are going to do now, because I am a little nervous now about opening up, because we've seen what has happened elsewhere and we know that the virus has entered our country. We are not virus-free. There's no country in the world which has declared itself virus-free. And therefore, as we are now beginning to open up a bit, we know that we are doing so, going out to live with the threat of the virus being present amongst us in the population. In phase 1, which covers the period May 10th to May 23rd, food establishments and restaurants would be allowed to open and provide food services across the country, but there will continue to be no in-service dining. Itinerant and non-itinerant businesses are allowed to commence curbside pickup and takeout, deliveries and drive-through, and of course, all our street food people are allowed to conduct their business. And we are asking, well, we will be establishing that this aspect of it come to an end at 8 p.m. And of course, we expect that the people who are doing street food type things, that they would observe the highest level of hygiene practice. Members of the public would be allowed to engage in restricted outdoor activities. This would exclude team activities or contact sport activities. We are going to allow the hardware stores to open all day till 4 o'clock, electrical stores, plumbing supplies, and so on. And of course, supermarkets, groceries, markets, and pharmacies, they will continue. So we'll open from 8 to 6. Certain other things remain. Don't congregate in groups of more than 5. And if you are near to people, keep the distance of 6 feet away. Those things still remain. You are required to do that. Because what we are saying, and what is the science and the sense, each and every one of us must behave as though we are carrying the virus. And if we are, we don't want it to leave us to go anywhere. So please, now that we're saying you can come out and do these things, you do so with a mask. We still want an element of stay at home. If it is not essential for you to go out there, the stay home is still in place. This is the new normal. No handshaking, no hugging up, no kissing, and always, once you leave the home, to go anywhere outside of the home, most important in this phase 1, going into the other phases, going into the many months ahead, wear a face covering, wear a mask.
In the dawn of the day, you wake up and say you're waiting for the sun to rise. Day after day it rises the same way, yet you don't realize that's the work of the master. And you got to sing praise to the Creator. Oh, man's wicked way is leading to destruction, but he is bold enough to say that is nature's plan. But nature provides the sun and the rain, and the air that we breathe is free. And these are basic needs for survival, for rich or poor equally, Lord. No part of nature's plan was designed for destruction. No, the one who causing destruction is man. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, Lord. Put the hand, Lord. The appetite laws were made just because man want to exploit man. Wickedness and greed will only succeed to further exploit
Well, you know we Trinidadians love to roam, so it kinda hard to just stay at home. Anywhere we go, when we reach, go to work late, then go to the beach. This virus could teach we some discipline. If you don't keep your distance, you might catch this thing. Don't feel it's an exam. If you fail, you sing. It's a hush funeral, no walk for Allens. Only be safe, okay? Stay at home. Keep your at home.
Thank you, Dr. Rowley. The message is a simple one. Stay in hiding. Corona is lurking. We have a task. Wear your mask, continue to practice social distancing and frequent hand washing. Stick and stay. I'll be right back your way with the Prime Minister of Jamaica's recovery program. Thank you for making Caribbean Insight your #1 stop for culture. Today we have over 10,000 subscribers. You have showed your interest in keeping Caribbean culture alive. We are offering you our t-shirt collections, shirts that invoke thoughts and empowerment. They are collector's items and memorabilia. For your participation, go to the link below and make your contribution to foster the value of our Caribbean cultural stories. Thank you for your support as we continue to develop.
Yo, where are my youth? How you reach on here? You know, I have to take the gully side, you know. Cause out here behave like when them drop a bomb on Gaza. Panic, turmoil and disorder. Yo, I should sit down and market me the way there and I reason with the brethren. And a man do some cough. You see, before I'm gonna cough a second time, I look round. Every stall empty, everybody gone. By the time I look back at my brethren, I say, yo, my youth, you see that? Him gone and him stall empty. I just me and the man who cough, I look for one another. So I realize I saw the thing serious. I just grit up, you see me? So where else my youth? You get that thing there and come back. Yeah, I got you, man.
That's all you worry about. You better know that that's why a little piece of bull beef left out of tin we are cheaper for a week, you know. I'm need to buy 2 pack of mosquito destroyer just forget it. You can't stay there. Carrot, I'm get some money. You send you go back out there. See if you can get some toilet paper for me. And any part of the chicken you can get. Do. May I beg you.
Man, sure say you can't rough out up on the chicken, you know. Remember, Virgin I raise some pigeon. So you say, I'm not on the ball plate.
Or even rabbit. I'm gonna frig it up with some curry.
Ball plate or rabbit. Then I'm go and grab it. Jano. I don't know.
With a virus sweeping through over 200 countries, threatening the life meter and livelihood of millions, it's easy to see how a health crisis could transcend to an economic one. Jamaica is no exception to the wrath of this new virus, COVID-19, which calls for social distancing as one of the best weapons to stop its spread.
First, let me say that we are now at 505 cases. We have 49 persons in hospitalization at present. On Wednesday, the 13th of May, the new curfew hours will start at 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. For the Labor Day period, we would have a tighter curfew. We are doing everything to ensure that if there were to be a surge, a spike, an outbreak, and people are in need of care, that we would be able to treat them and it wouldn't create a crisis. Yes, we have to ensure that our economy is working at full capacity, but we also have to appeal to our Jamaicans to ensure that we maintain the orders, we maintain the recommended hygiene practices, and we are faithful and responsible. Effective Sunday, May 17th, 2020, churches may resume. Everyone must wear a mask in the church. We are seeing that the lack of economic activity is having a serious impact on households and communities. And as much as possible, we have to allow business to continue while we put in place the measures to manage the spread of the virus. If there is any transmission whatsoever that is linked to any such facility, immediately we will have to revert to the original position, which is to close the community bar. As we open our economy back, trying to see a new normal, that a part of that new normal has to be a higher level of personal responsibility. Now, markets in the specified area shall remain closed. Pharmacies in the specified area are allowed to be open on all the days of the specified quarantine time between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Markets, corner shops, petroleum filling stations where they exist within the quarantine area, banks or other financial institutions, and any other place other than the market engaged in the distribution of food, medical supplies, or sanitization products in the specified area may operate only between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Restaurant and cook shops in the specified area may provide takeout and delivery services between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. We must ensure that our economy gets as close as possible to full capacity. If we don't get our economy to full capacity, the little savings that exist for the Jamaican middle class will be evaporated in a matter of weeks, not even months. For those people who depend on the constant hustle, that can't get out there and make a living, whatever daily savings they have, that will evaporate. And so too will the government's revenues from taxes and other areas. So let us not fool around with the understanding that we must return our economy to as close as capacity as possible. Right? Jamaica does not have the luxury of other economies that have large savings. So more than other countries, Jamaicans have to learn to live with the COVID pandemic. More than other countries, Jamaicans must be faithful and responsible in following the orders given, because that is the only way that we're going to return to our full capacity economy with a new normal. For the first time ever in a crisis like this, we have been able to put forward a cash transfer showing that we care to persons who have been displaced from their jobs and for persons who are not employed. And in the good management of our finances, public sector layoff is not something that is within our contemplation. But let's be clear that if we don't get back to as close as possible to capacity and very quickly, then as the Minister of Finance likes to call it, the second and third order effects of the crisis would be incalculable. You know, tourism is our major foreign exchange earner. And with the closure of the global tourism industry, we had no choice here but to close our hotels and to close our attraction. But we must be prepared for the day when we reopen. We will not allow the crisis to cripple us to the point where we don't take proprietary action. And we have to be timing very carefully, because other countries are going to reopen and people are going to travel, and Jamaica must be the #1 destination for travel. That is how we recover stronger from crisis.
The corona coming like an enemy. Everybody run, go and hiding for that. And with your soap in your hand and you're rubbing and you're scrubbing and you can't forget your mouth cap. No bless yous after sneezing. As soon as you cough, people panicking. Yeah, give you props, cause you staying clean. But this corona got me questioning your hygiene. I said, soon it will be over.
Don't worry, how to take.
All of us have a responsibility to get it done. Blessed love.
Thank you for making Caribbean Insight your #1 stop for culture. Today we have over 10,000 subscribers. You have showed your interest in keeping Caribbean culture alive. We are offering you the Morris Bishop t-shirt, a shirt that invokes thought and empowerment. It's a collector's item, a memorabilia. For your participation, go to the link below and make your contribution to foster the value of our Caribbean cultural stories. Thank you for your support as we continue to develop.
In the beginning of time, God created man, and over all things, He gave man dominion. Man had ultimate control over his mind, body and soul. Man's future, He gave man in his hands to hold. But then man somehow, he began to stray. And man somehow began to lose his way. Man started to imagine all kind of insane things. Is man corrupt man through his own I say imagine. Man start to imagine. All kind of vain things, all kind of strange things. I say imagine. Man start to imagine all kind of evil plans against his fellow man. Man start to imagine that he is a superpower. Imagine. And next man and he must conquer. Imagine. Until he start to oppress man. But if man only learn to love man, as stated in the master's plan, man could stop the fall of man. Well, sweet as the music, to the heart and soul. Hear me. Now man received the key to his own destiny, to his own existence. Man became the king, but like man was too blind to see, so man became man's worst enemy. Fueled by greed, hatred and envy. So then man, by now, he began to lust, and man by now, to man became unjust. He continued to imagine all kind of inhumane things, destroying man and the future generation. Well, I say imagine, man start to imagine all kind of hateful things, all kind of distasteful things. I say imagine, man start to imagine all kind of wicked plans against his fellow man. Man start to imagine, so he start to rape and plunder, non-stop bloodshed and murder, until he start to suppress man. But if man only learn to love man, as stated in the master's plan, man could stop the fall of man. Man became lost and didn't know in his own ego. Me, myself and I became his motto. With selfishness and selfish pride, he riding side by side. His arrogance, he just couldn't hide. You see, man by now, he forgot his role. And man by now, he was out of control. He couldn't stop imagining all kind of vile things pulling down man through his wild imagination. I say imagine, man start to imagine all kind of deranged things, all kind of demented things. I say imagine, start to imagine all kind of sinister plan against his fellow man. Man start to imagine that he is a dictator, so he enslave another, until he start to repress man. But if man only learn to love man, as stated in the master's plan, man would stop the fall of man. Whoa, in man's quest for domination, he don't understand the future generation. He leading to extinction. Man has become too blind to see. He's losing piece of himself daily, and his entire soul he'll lose eventually. So his way back. Man, I know together could get back on track if man start to imagine only positive things. Man would save man and the future generation. I say imagine, man start to imagine all kind of great things, no hate but love things. I say imagine, man start to imagine that the master plan is to love your fellow man. Man start to imagine that you are your brother's keeper. Together we are stronger. Man start to respect man.
The Caribbean's roadmap to recovery continues on CITV with the Prime Ministers of Grenada, Barbados and St. Vincent. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. You want to see it? Let's follow the advice of all leaders and be safe. I'm Lady V, and I'll catch you at the next pit stop.